What's going on? Boys, today we are talking pronunciation and pretentiousness, and the ways they might work with extroverted feeling. Now, the pronunciations we are discussing are because, and because. To explain what I'm talking about, there's a game called Just Cause 2, one of my favorites from high school, and the name is a double entendre or a double meaning joke. Either you pronounce it just because that's what you're doing in the game, you're destroying a whole bunch of shit just cause, or you pronounce it just cause because you are fighting for a just cause, toppling a dictatorship. Now, I like that double meaning, and I like the way pronunciation sets that off. Pronunciation gives that little phrase two completely different meanings. So, in the vacuum, I don't remember when I started, but I started pronouncing because as because. Because that's how it should be pronounced. If you look at the way it's spelled, cause is pronounced cause. So at some point in the vacuum, I made that decision. This is how it's supposed to be pronounced. I like the nobler sort of idea, thing, meaning behind that pronunciation. I'm going to pronounce it that way. And because I was in the vacuum, that was all it was. It is just a decision based on pronunciation and some meaning behind the pronunciation. Now, eventually, that changed. The vacuum wasn't as much a vacuum. There were people, I was interacting with people, and people started complimenting me on the way I pronounced because. And because compliments go straight to my head and ruin my judgment and make me act stupid, I started pronouncing it pretentiously, but the same way. It went from because to because. Not a big difference, it might not sound like one, but it is a difference. It's an attempt to draw out the pronunciation in the way people complimented me for it, so I could feel better about myself and maybe receive more compliments. The reasoning behind the pronunciation stopped being righteous. It went from, I like the way this double meaning works, and grammatically this is how this is supposed to be pronounced, so I will pronounce it this way, to, I will act pretentious so I can get head pats. And I didn't realize that was what was happening at first, but it set in pretty quick. It stopped being righteous, it started being pretentious and shitty. So, once I realized I was stupid, my options were continue pronouncing it like a pompous dick, which wouldn't end well, because if you recognize you're a pretentious dick, other people will too. It's a ticking time bomb. Alternatively, I could go back to pronouncing it because. Doing it from the back of the throat and shooting high rather than stretching it out and going low, even speeding it up, which is what I'm sticking with now. But that doesn't feel righteous anymore because you already let the pompousness, the wanting head pats, taint your righteousness, the real reasons you were doing something, the vacuum reasons you were doing something, so it's all already tainted. Meaning you can't do it the way you were doing it before, with others' praise or with others' potential, probably incoming attacks. You can no longer do it without thinking about the way other people are thinking. That's Effie dictating pronunciation. The way you speak. Effie types talk about changing the way they speak to suit other people. This is an instance of that. And now, with that in mind, even because doesn't sound righteous. Because I wouldn't say because in public, for the most part. Or if I would, I would do it hushed and hurriedly, right? Because people are going to look at you like you're stupid. If you don't sound the way other people sound, you are immediately creating a barrier between you and them. All that leads to three main issues regarding pronunciation. Firstly, I want to pronounce it the way I think it should be pronounced. And the reasoning for that pronunciation came about in a social vacuum. Point two, I don't want to sound or be pretentious. Doing extra shit with ulterior motives, no righteous reasoning. But I already did, and I already was. So that's already weighing and isn't going away, no matter what I end up choosing. Then point three, how am I supposed to negotiate the previous 2 points, how to pronounce the thing, without letting social pressure decide my answer? Now, the answer to those three is social pressure will always decide your answer, or at least influence it. However, the best course of action is to pick one and stick to it to create a formal baseline. This isn't something extra, this is something righteous you do with everyone at all times. We'll talk about formal baselines and why they're useful another time, but this video's point is the degree to which FE affects decision making, even down to the way we pronounce single words. I've been worrying about this one word's pronunciation for months. At least after I realized it became a pretentious thing, not a righteous thing. This video's point is to demonstrate the way personal pretentiousness and social judgment, positive or negative, affect pure, righteous ideas developed in vacuums. And I think that's related to extroverted feeling. But that about rippity wraps this one up. I hope you enjoyed watching, because I certainly enjoyed making it. This video feels icky, and it feels icky because showing people how stupid you are doesn't feel very good. Like if you enjoyed, because it helps me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't, because we do this shit sometimes. And comment your thoughts, because I love hearing from you. What are your thoughts on pronunciation? Or tuning your speech into other people's speech? Do you alter the way you speak better to fit in with other people? Love to hear your thoughts. Thanks again for watching everybody. Really, we have a lot of fun on this channel. So much fun. In fact, you could drop the blinds on it and shield yourself from all the fun. Because we're having so much fun, you need blinds so you don't go blind. That's how much fun we have on this channel. I look forward to doing this with you guys again in the future.